So the best deals in real estate don't happen when everyone's looking. They happen right now when nobody is paying attention. Everyone thinks spring is the best time to buy a home, but the truth is the best deals rarely happen in the springtime. They happen when the leaves are starting to fall. Today I'm going to break down the 5 reasons fall is quietly the best time to buy a home, because it's not about time in the market, it's about having the right strategy in a market that is very difficult to understand. So my name is Eric Hamilton. I'm a top 1% lender in the country. Our mission is very simple. We are a data-driven mortgage advisor, and we go out and try to use data to help our clients know and understand and make a more informed decision. This channel was started with the idea of just helping home buyers provide clarity to a very confusing process. So much noise is in the market, and my goal is to do videos like this to help people know and understand what's going on. So this video is going to be the top 5 reasons why it is a good time to buy a home in the fall. So let's talk about current landscape. So right now the headlines are super confusing. Rates are moving lower, inventory is starting to move higher, and market sentiment is changing day to day. Most people are reacting to headlines and don't understand the real opportunities and all the numbers because there's so much noise and so much to digest. And unfortunately, in some markets, home prices continue to move up, and that's very confusing as well. But in the fall, there is a lot less competition and provides a little bit more flexibility in the market. So we're going to go through and dive into the 5 reasons why fall is the best season to buy a home. So reason number 1, really simple: less competition and more leverage. So in spring and summer, you have people that are having their kids get out of school, and that is the main time that everyone gears up to, we start getting pre-approvals January, February, March. It seems to move up. Super Bowl is kind of the unofficial kickoff to the spring home buying season. In the last several springs, we've seen bidding wars. And then the other thing is right now, and probably the most important thing in development over the last several months, is we're seeing sales contingencies. So most of the time when people have a house to sell, they try to do that in the spring, and it's been almost next to impossible since 2019 to be able to sell a home and buy a home during that same time. So right now we're seeing a lot of people that have the ability to get an offer accepted when they have a house to sell. Not something you're going to be able to do in spring if rates continue to come down. So right now you're having more leverage if you have a home to sell. In the fall, there's less emotions and more strategy of home buyers, which if you're a seller and you're looking to sell your home, that is great. A lot more strategic buyers that are in the market. The other thing right now is we're seeing a lot of people that are negotiating inspection credits, seller paid rate buy downs, closing cost credits. All of that is very, very helpful to the average buyer. Keep in mind, a $10,000 seller credit today could help you save, if you buy down the rate either temporarily or permanently, a couple $100s a month. So that is significant savings that you are not able to get if you try to do that in the fall. Okay? So reason number 2 that fall is a good time is you have motivated sellers that want to close before year end. So think if you're a seller on the market today, and especially in the Midwest, you're kind of looking at the weather, leaves are starting to fall, you're worried that if it gets too closer, if you have a big snowstorm, you're not going to get people that are going to be looking at your home. So emotionally, sellers, that list in the fall are trying to close before the holidays and year end. They want to get it done. Maybe they're transferring, maybe they have a house that they're building, but builders also want inventory off the books, so they're under a lot of pressure. They're pushing people to get closed. So sellers who are buying new construction, they may be motivated to sell quicker, and they may be more willing to give up in the sales price, closing cost credit. So motivated sellers equal more negotiation power. Builders are offering huge price incentives as well and different things to close before the end of the year. So that is really important too. So when you understand that cycle, you are going to buy based on leverage and not a lot of hype. And that's really important to think about. Reason number 3 is just the current environment. We have a government shutdown. We have a lot of noise in the market. We have a lot of headlines that create uncertainty. You have interest rates that have reached, we're in October of 2025. So, we're at or near short-term lows that we've seen over the last 3 years. So, that is, you're taking advantage of kind of that chaos and uncertainty, and people are kind of unsure of what's going on during the government shutdown, and that's caused rates to drift lower. The one thing to also keep in mind is that we haven't had any financial numbers come out other than inflation, one inflation report, because the government shutdown has prevented government data to be released. So that is creating an opportunity as the markets start to drift lower. So keep in mind, government shutdown ends, we get into the spring market because people are going to say, you know what, I'm just going to wait. There's too much going on. The problem is the spring is going to be very chaotic. If rates are lower, you're going to have more people entering the market. If rates go below 6%, you're going to have a lot of people re-enter the market every time that does. So, right now in the current environment, you're going to have the time to run multiple scenarios. Well-qualified buyers and motivated buyers are going to stand out to a seller immediately. When you can come in and show that you've done the work up front and you're fully approved, this is where strategy is going to be your biggest weapon as you go into the market, is being able to go in there, being able to close quickly, and giving speed as a part of your offer because you've already done all your work up front, and that is going to help you get an offer accepted. So buyers who take time now are going to win in a fall market much easier and have a lot more success. Reason number 4 is just seasonal price adjustments. Historically, home prices tend to soften a little bit in the fall because that's where people are negotiating and we have some markets where home prices have started to fall a little bit. So that is really an important development as well. So also right now, you have the highest inventory every year is in October. So if you look at inventory peaks all the way in October, and then it starts to tail off to the end of the year, and then we'll start building again in the spring. So you have the most amount of homes that you're going to see all year happens in October of every year, okay? So keep in mind, a 3% price drop right now, okay, on a $400,000 home, if you were able to negotiate that, is $12,000 in savings, okay? A 0.25% rate change, that if you're waiting for rates to go down, is only going to save you about $70 a month on average, okay? So price flexibility in the fall is a much bigger advantage than these small rate moves that everyone's waiting for, because a small rate move now, when we're right around in the low 6s, if it gets below 6%, psychologically a rate with a 5 in front of it is going to bring out a lot of buyers, and you may not be able to negotiate as much as you can today. So the final reason, number 5, that now is the best time, is positioning for the next rate drop. So if you think about it, we have Fed meetings coming up, government shutdown, rates start to move lower. The market seems like they want to move rates lower, okay? So when rates are dropped in the future, demand is going to surge, and especially in the Midwest, in Illinois in particular, where inventory is still 60% below where we were in 2019, you could see prices move higher, multiple offers return. So, kind of the strategy that we talk with a lot of buyers is buying now is going to lock into your price now. If rates do move lower, okay, you will have the opportunity to refinance later. Now, we can never guarantee that. You never want to, make plans based on that. And you don't want to go through the whole strategy of guaranteeing a future, rate cut later that's going to save you money. But you got to understand the strategy that if you buy now, you always have the ability to refinance if rates move lower, okay? Owning the asset now and buying the home now will give you leverage in the future to refinance and get different options later. So, I had a client that I, waited in the spring, okay? And we just went under contract. And in that time, the subdivision that they were looking in, prices have gone up because of low inventory about 5%, okay? Now, that waiting has also caused them to, get a lower interest rate, but they're also paying higher on the house by 5%. And really, they didn't save much of anything by waiting. So, the best thing you can do is lock in this equity if we feel like rates are going to move lower. So a lot of times when we do that, it's going to actually save you a lot more money in the future. So, the best opportunities, are going to happen right now in the fall when most people are not paying attention. Lower competition, motivated sellers, price flexibility. When you understand these numbers, you're going to make much more informed decisions. And then the other thing is that you're not going to be chasing the market later if rates start to come down, because what's going to happen is you're going to have all these people re-enter the market. And now, if the timing doesn't work for you and you need to wait, there's still going to be plenty of opportunity. It's just you're going to have to be a little bit more realistic to what that market may look like in the spring if rates are lower, more homes are hitting the market, because you also have first-time home buyers on the sidelines. You have sellers that have been waiting to list their home to purchase. There's a lot of competition that will be there. So if this video helped you out, please feel free to subscribe as we share more. You can schedule a discovery call with us at any time. Our discovery calls, what we do is we go through your personal situation, talk through strategy before we ever do an application. The main reason why we do that is a lot of times that strategy call identifies a lot of concerns. We have a lot of people that aren't moving forward. Average first-time homebuyer age was 38 last year. A lot of the reason is because they're concerned about the market, concerned about what might happen in the future. So we address a lot of that in the strategy call. Then once we do our strategy call, we can build a strategy that kind of fits your life, your goals, when you want to move, what your options are, when to move forward. Strategy is going to beat rate every single time, and that's what we do. So if this video was helpful, give me a subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.